to this week's Facebook Live. Today I'm going to talk about routines and creating some good solid morning and evening routines so that you can, feel more in control of your life, not so stressed, reduce your anxiety as well. So that's the whole idea behind having a good routine, is to do that, is to reduce your stress levels, not, pile more stuff on and into that routine. And this takes a little bit of planning, a little bit of a review, preparation. So we're going to get on to that now. I'll get into it a bit detailed. Just to say to you though that, I do questions in this. So if you're looking for the original questions, you want to jot them down, feel free to go over onto the blog. There'll be a link in the description as always. Go have a look at them, note them down, and work through it slowly, because building a new routine is building new habits, and new habits, take time. Don't feel like you have to have it all instantly. It's not going to it's not going to happen. It's just simply not going to happen. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take your time, build in new things, delete old stuff as best you can. Yes, you will slip up. That's okay. It's a learning curve. That's what this is about. It's a learning curve, so you have a more streamlined morning and evening routine that helps you feel more in control of your life. And there are huge benefits to doing this, because it's going to ensure that you get the self-care that you need personally in, as well as having the important tasks that you need to do in your life done. It's going to reduce decision fatigue, because you have it scheduled, when it's going to happen. So you're reducing your decisions about negative stuff, because no, that's not that, I don't need that in my life. This is going to create more positive behaviors that you want to do, want to have in your life. So it reduces the need to think about, what do I need to do? When do I need to do it? Because you have it in the routine. You already have it there. And you also reduces your guilt, because we all only have the same amount of time every day. We have 24 hours. You need sleep. You need to look after yourself. If you're not looking after yourself, life is going to feel very out of kilter, out of balance. You need to do certain essential things. And when we're very busy, we forget that. We let things go. We tend to get stuff piled onto us by other people. So, taking the time to review at least twice a year what has slipped in that you no longer want to do, or what has slipped in that you really shouldn't be doing, that somebody else should be doing for themselves. It's a good time, maybe even if you're not going to do a new routine, that you do this review with the questions I'm going to give you. But now, with a good routine, you'll have the time slotted in for the things that are important. You first and foremost, because you can't pour from an empty cup, as they say. But you've time for your family, time for friends, time for meditation and journaling, because that's important. Other things that you need to do in the morning and the evening. We're not talking about work time. We're not talking about the 9 to 5. But, if you want to build in a routine around that as well, it's a good idea. Having these routines also keeps us grounded. We're going to feel, having that regular routine that we do day in, day out, 7 days a week. We know what we're going to do in the mornings. We know what we're going to do in the evenings. That's when you get that sense of being grounded and feeling more in control. You're also going to feel a bit more productive, because you have those regular slots for what you want to do. And then you have time for other things, because you've done the review. You've done a regular review. And you said, yeah, this is what I've time for. This is what I can definitely do. And this is stuff I can't do. Or this is stuff I need help with. And that's equally important. So, if you want to actually create these routines, well, where do you start? And, the first place to start is always with our awareness, and a little planning and a review is what's going to be needed. So what I would say to you is, over the next few weeks, if this is what you want to do, I would do a review. I would just list out all the tasks that you do. Don't worry about, when you do them or how long they take and things like that. Just get them down so you have an idea of what you're actually doing. An awful lot of the times we don't realize what we're doing. So carrying around a little piece of paper, notebook, a small little, we can get notebooks about that size, and just jotting down, I'm doing this, this, phone calls, whatever. That's a good idea, because when you have it on paper, when you can actually see it in front of you, that's when you start to realize how much you're trying to fit in to a small amount of time. And when I say write everything down, I mean absolutely everything. If it's housework, if it's gym time, walking, grocery shopping, paying bills, meeting up with family and friends, if you are dropping the kids off or doing pickups, that needs to go down. Homework with the kids, volunteer work, after school activities with the kids, any hobbies you might be trying to fit in for yourself, anything you do for others, anything at all. Don't forget your showers and your brushing your teeth, and basic self-care needs to go in there. Watch the phone calls, the emails and the chats. They can take up an awful lot of time, but the basic idea here is when you're noting it all down, nothing is too small to go on the list. Please write down what goes on the list. If you can jot down times, it's morning or evening time, that's a good idea. Put an M or an E beside it. If you can give yourself a rough idea of how long it's taking up, particularly if you're trying to look at, during the day, if you're working one of those kind of routines, like how much is this job actually taking me to do? How much of a distraction am I getting every day? So even if you do that, that's also a good idea to note down times. The next thing we do when we have that list is to ask yourself some questions. There'll be a lot of questions. But the first thing I'd say to you is, ask yourself, are you a lark or an owl? When's your best time? When are you freshest? In the morning or in the evening? Because that might dictate when you actually do a lot of things. But even if you are somebody who likes, who's an owl or a lark, if you're exhausted, if you're an owl, but you find yourself exhausted at the end of an evening because, you've got children, you're trying to work, you're trying to do everything and you're fitting it all in, give yourself a break. It's okay that you don't have the energy to do everything, and you won't have the energy. It's just simply not possible. The other question you'd ask yourself, are you a stay-at-home parent or not? Are you working from home? Are you retired? You need to work these things out. So you may have longer time in the morning to be able to do things, or you may only have a short amount of time to do things. That's going to influence you, your start and your finish times in the morning and in the evening. Are you already leaving chores to the weekend? Are you single? Are you a couple? Again, if you're a single parent, you mightn't have as much time if you had your partner who could help you out. Remember, not everything on the list is yours alone, especially if you do have a partner, and even if you have older children, teens, they can help out at home. They're able to do that. And if you have adult children at home, and you're having a problem trying to fit things in and you're running yourself ragged after these adult children, then, please go and talk to somebody, because you need help. You need help with asking for help, and you need to start detaching from those adult children. They're adults now. They have to start taking responsibility for themselves. So I have done a blog and a video on that, adult children and enabling them. So, go and check that out first. If you recognise yourself, then maybe it's time to have a chat with somebody like me. But basically it's what tasks are on your list, daily, weekly and monthly, and make a note beside them, because sometimes we leave things until the weekend, or they only happen once a month. So make a note of them. If that happens to be when you're doing your review, make a note that it's only a monthly task that you do. The next thing to do is to review the actual list itself, the to-do list. First thing I always say to people is everything on this list yours and yours alone? If it belongs to somebody else, I'm talking about adults here, then it's time to hand that back. Very difficult to do if you're a perfectionist, a codependent, a people pleaser. I understand that. I do understand that, and that's going to take a little bit of practice. So maybe, and I said this before, try doing it with smaller items, maybe with people that aren't as close to you, to be able to start handing it back to people outside of that closer circle of trust. The next question, again, hard one for perfectionists and people pleasers, but perfectionists in particular. Do you have to do absolutely everything on the list? Is there anything you can let go of? And if you're finding it difficult to say no, if you're finding it difficult to let go of control like that, I would have a look at my video on being a perfectionist. And, you know, maybe you need to help to talk to somebody if that's the case, because, you know, there are things, maybe they don't fit anymore in your lifestyle. It's time to let them go. And then the next question is actually, does it actually fit into your lifestyle? Is it something you've just gotten in the habit of doing simply because you've done it for the last 5 years or 10 years or whatever? Does it still serve you? Is it serving you? Has it a purpose? If not, then again, it's time to let that go. Maybe you just need to switch things up a little bit. Are you doing something to please somebody else? That never works out very well. Please, no. People pleasers, please be aware, because these are energy drainers. They really are. If you're doing something to please somebody else, it's a total energy drain on you, and you're just not going to be, you know, enthusiastic about doing it anyway. Again, codependence and people pleasers, please watch that one. Can you ask for help with anything on the list? Anything at all, smallest thing. You know, particularly if you're in a relationship, as I said before, if you have a relationship with somebody else, can they help you out in any way? Are they doing their fair share of the chores, helping with the kids? If you do have kids, older children and teens, yes, they can do chores. They're able to do those. They should be able to do that. It's a life skill for life to be able to look after yourself. So as a parent, that's our job, to teach them that. Allow them to help. They're probably more than happy to help, particularly if, you know, they want to be told they're doing a really good job. Let them help. The whole thing about this is to be at least honest with yourself as to where you are, because if you're having trouble asking for help or letting go of things, then please reach out to somebody and ask for help. Because what's left on the list when you've reviewed it all should be a more realistic list to do, that you can actually fit in the time slot available, and not trying to run yourself ragged and get stressed to the hilt. So then developing the morning and evening routine itself is, I'm afraid, a few more questions. With morning routines, what you've got to watch out at is, you know, what time do you normally get up at? Because that's the start of your routine. What happens, you know, after that normally? And what would you like to fit in there? Like, so when the kids are off to school, you're off to work, that's the finish of your morning routine. So when you get up is the start, and when the kids or you go off to work, that's the finish of the morning routine. So what do you want to happen in between that time in the mornings? Let's get realistic about it. That's what you've got to do. If you want to reduce your stress and your anxiety about doing that, you really do need to look at the reality of the situation and what you, as one single human being, can actually do. You know, we're trying to find out what we can add that will be positive and will serve us, what we can delete to make it a better routine for ourselves. You know, is there anything you can actually leave then until the evening routine? Sometimes if we can do a bit of preparation the night before in simple tasks, um, it makes it easier, particularly when you have got children, to get out the door in the mornings, if you can do some preparation in the evening time. So brings me around to the evening routine. Again, what time do you normally go to bed at? Because that's the finish time that you're going to have. What time do you normally get in from work? Or what time do you have dinner at? That's the start of the evening routine. What would you like again? What would you like to happen in between those two times? What's the reality of your situation? What can you do? Again, what can you add that's going to serve you, is going to help you? What can you delete? Can you ask for help? That's very important. Can you add in anything that might help with the morning routine, as I said? So, making the lunch, laying out clothes, packing the kids' bags, storing them by the door with their coats and their shoes and everything they need, ready for an easy exit in the mornings. Can you leave any housework to the weekends? A lot of time, busy people will do that. They'll get into the habit of doing a big clean on a Saturday or Sunday. Some things like to watch for that you cannot get rid of. Showers, you have to wash. Teeth brushing, meditation, taking some time for exercise. You don't have to go to the gym. Journaling helps with the brain dumps. That helps reduce your stress. That's what you're trying to do. Things that you can definitely ask for help from others, like your partner or your kids, will be meals, including help with the preparation. If they're old enough, help with cooking. Kids' homework, it shouldn't be just left up to you if you're with somebody else. Kids' bedtime routines, the dishes, hoovering, laundry, other household chores, they can be spread out among the family members. If you're finding it hard to fit in some exercise, then think about what you can fit in at lunchtime. Can I fit in a quick 20-minute walk? Even a 10-minute walk? Can I do my journaling and my meditation during my lunchtime? Would that be better for me to help me de-stress and bring down my stress levels even during the day? So, find ways of fitting things in, particularly, ways to enjoy the first few hours, maybe make them more restful. And to do that, planning each evening is what I would normally do. I would check out my list every day and I would plan in my evening time, because that's the best time to plan and prep for the next day, is, in the evenings. I always plan my week and my month on a Sunday, because that helps me. I take it once I have my month planned out, then it doesn't take me very long to actually plan out my week. There'll be regular things that you will schedule in. The other thing I'd actually say to you is, if you are consistently low with energy, fatigued, please go to your doctor for a checkup. Don't leave that. Just go and talk to the doctor about about getting some bloods done. Check out your iron count and that. Look at your diet. So think about looking after yourself a little bit better. The main idea with this is to remain flexible. Routines can't be completely set in stone, because something always happens. But we can be realistic about this. We can have a routine that we can stick to, healthier habits that are less stressful, and that help us do things that lead our lives to be more in control, lead us to have a more better life work balance. So if you want any more ideas, do check out my workbooks. I've got 4 workbooks up on my shop and up on Amazon. The building blocks of self-care would be a good one to start with there if you wanted something. But as always, if you feel you need extra help, please reach out to your doctor and to a therapist. A lot longer this week than usual. Sorry about that. I will talk to you all again not next week. We have a bank holiday here in Ireland, but I will talk to you the following week. Enjoy your weekend. We've lovely sunshine this weekend in Ireland, so hoping to get out. I will talk to you all next 2 weeks' time. Thank you for listening.